All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. My name is Evan Berger, and I'm an organizer with the Fighting Oligarchy Project. This past Saturday, over 20 million Americans who use the ACA marketplace saw that the cost of their healthcare premiums will double on average. This is an unprecedented attack by Republicans on our healthcare system, and we need to stand up and fight back. Right now, we're sharing a link for you to sign up to take action over the next week. For those of you on Zoom, the link is in the chat. And if you're watching the live stream, the link should be displayed on your screen. We're asking everyone to take action in 4 ways. Number 1, call your senator. We're asking everyone here tonight to call your senators and urge them to protect our health care. 2, we're asking you to join a phone bank. We're also organizing phone banks over the next 2 weeks to call Bernie supporters in targeted states and urge them to make similar calls to their senators. 3, share your story. We need to continue to let people know about the human impact of these budget cuts. If you or anyone you know is going to be impacted by the increase in healthcare costs, we want to hear from you. And 4, we're asking you to host an action in your community. If you live in a state with a Republican senator, we are going to hold a National Day of Action on Monday, November 10th. That's a week from today. We're going to say a lot more about all 4 of these options later tonight, but now let's hear from a very special guest, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Is on the call right now. I think I don't have to tell anybody that we are living in an extremely dangerous and pivotal moment in our country's history. And I think what we do right now, people 30 years from now or 50 years from now will look back and say, wow, they played an important role in preserving American democracy and in protecting the needs of working families. The decisions made in the next few days, literally the next few days, will in fact determine whether millions of Americans will be able to afford the health care that they have, or whether in fact they will be abandoned by their government. Just to give you an example, today I was talking to a senator who said she was in contact with a couple, actually a couple in Florida, and the guy had diabetes and the woman had serious cancer. She was undergoing treatment. And if their rates are doubled, they will not be able to afford the health care they need to keep both of them alive. And they're now talking about who's going to take care of the kids, talking about who, they have a little bit of money, maybe they put the money into the husband or the wife or whatever it may be. All over this country, people have serious chronic problems. They're dealing with cancer. They're dealing with all kinds of terrible diseases. And treating those diseases is expensive. If you double premiums on average, and in some cases, in my state of Vermont, we're looking at a tripling or quadrupling of those premiums, people will not be able to afford it. People will, in fact, die. This past Saturday, as Evan mentioned, more than 20 million Americans got devastating news. And that news was that their health insurance premiums will double on average because Republicans refused to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. But that is not all. Trump's big, beautiful bill will throw 15 million Americans off of the Medicaid and the ACA. They have 15 million Americans. Studies from Yale and the University of Pennsylvania indicate that when you throw 15 million working class and lower income people off of the health care, some 50,000 people every year will die unnecessarily. I know that's hard to deal with, or hard to even believe. But what this whole shutdown is about, and our fighting for healthcare, is to make sure that 50,000 people a year do not die unnecessarily. Further, nursing homes will be decimated. They're heavily dependent on Medicaid funding. Rural hospitals will also be hard hit. Republicans claim they're putting $50 billion into rural hospitals. Yeah, what they forgot to tell you is they're cutting $150 billion from those same hospitals. Community health centers would serve over 30 million low-income and working class Americans. will lose the funding that they need for the clientele they're serving today. All of this is about the Republicans waging war on the working class of our country so that in tax breaks for the 1% paid for by massive cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. So here is what people need to understand. Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, and they control the White House. They have the power to end this shutdown today. All they need to do is come to the table and begin negotiating in good faith. But Republicans want a clean CR without any Democratic input, despite the fact that they need 60 votes to pass a government, to keep the government open. They need 60 votes. They only have 53 members of the Republican caucus, but they're refusing to negotiate. Their attitude is take it or leave it. Well, if I have anything to say about it, we are not going to take it. We need serious negotiation for how we're going to protect the healthcare needs of the American people. And I should tell you that Republican senators are beginning to feel the heat. There is a reason why 15 House Republicans are already on record supporting ACA tax credits. They don't want to go home and explain to their constituents why premiums double. There is a reason why 15 Republican senators have joined every Democrat, every member of the Democratic caucus, to demand that Trump fully fund nutrition assistance for some 16 million kids. In other words, you're seeing some Republicans beginning to stand up to Trump. But we need your help big time. Republican senators need to hear from their constituents that what is going on here in DC is unacceptable. They need to hear your stories about your health care. What does it mean to you if you lose your Medicaid coverage? What does it mean to you if your premiums are doubled? So here is what we are asking you to do. Call Republican senators. Tell them that doubling premiums in the richest country in the history of the world is unacceptable. Tell them that throwing 15 million fellow Americans off of health care is unacceptable. Tell them that they cannot do it alone. They need to negotiate so that we can save health care and reopen the government. Please share your story. Tell us what double premiums mean to your family, what it means if you're thrown off the health care, or you have loved ones in nursing homes or rural communities that are not going to be able to get the care that they need. Let me be very clear. The American people are with us. They are with us. Nearly 80% support extending healthcare subsidies. Bottom line is, if we stand firm, we get the word out, the friends, the neighbors, and everybody else all over this country, we can win this fight. But we need two things to happen. First, Republican senators must come to the table and negotiate. They need to hear from their constituents that slashing healthcare for millions is unacceptable. Your calls, your actions, your stories, that's what will force them to act. Second, Democrats must continue to fight for healthcare. This is not the time to cave. This is not the time to compromise away people's lives. What we will do in the next few days will be remembered. So let's make sure we are remembered for standing up, for speaking out, and for fighting for justice. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for taking action. Together, we can force Republicans to the table and ensure that Democrats keep fighting for the healthcare millions of Americans desperately need. Keep up the great work. Thank you all very much.
And thank you, Senator Sanders. Next, I'd like to introduce Jeremy Slevin, one of the senator's senior advisors. And Jeremy's going to say a little bit more about where things stand in the Senate, in Congress, and what we're going to do about it over the next week. Jeremy, I'll hand it back to you.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Evan. And thank you to the senator for that inspiring pitch. Yeah, I think the senator covered it a little bit, but I just want to give a brief recap of where things stand right now. So as of Saturday, the open enrollment period started for healthcare, which kick in on January 1st. Because Republicans have refused to fund the healthcare premium subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, premiums on average are, as we speak, doubling for about 20 million people across the country. So as we speak, people are getting their notices. In addition, some of you may have heard that the Trump administration is currently refusing to fund SNAP benefits. That's nutrition assistance that about 42 million people, including 16 million children, depend on across the country. They are legally obligated to do that. There's an emergency fund for this during the shutdown. They refused to do that. 2 court orders said you have to do that. That is as of Friday. And the Trump administration is only belatedly starting to partially fund SNAP benefits. So that is still very much in flux for millions of people across this country. Now, in terms of where things stand in negotiations, we're now close almost at the longest shutdown in history. And basically, Trump and Republicans have refused to come to the table. In fact, the House of Representatives has been completely out of session, not even showing up for work for about 6 weeks, because Republican Speaker Mike Johnson is refusing to even bring them to Washington to negotiate. So that is where things have stood. And I think this moment right now, the reason we're holding this live stream right now is for several reasons. One is because the premium increases are kicking in. People are starting to feel it. And the other is that there is a real risk now on both sides. There is a risk and a worry that some Democrats could say, look, we tried our best. They're not negotiating. Let's throw in the towel. We fought the good fight. And part of the message we want to get out is that, no, now is not the time to cave. As the senator mentioned, Republicans are also feeling the heat. They are getting calls from their constituents about their premium increases. They are getting calls from their constituents about SNAP benefits. Trump, this weekend on 60 Minutes, said, we're going to work on getting health care. They are feeling pressure. The senator mentioned the 15 Republicans in the House who support the ACA premium extension, 15 Republicans in the Senate who support funding SNAP. So they are cracking. And what we need from you is to really put the pressure on them, to share your story, to drive those calls. And this is going out to people across the country. Some of you are not in Republican districts. And don't worry, we're holding phone calls. We're hosting call-in days of action where you can reach out to folks in those key Senate states, in those Republican Senate states, and have them pressure their members of Congress. And we're also asking people to organize in-person events. So that's kind of the general state of play, but just want to underscore that now is just a crucial time. I think we are really in what feels like kind of the final stages where the rubber really meets the road, and hopefully, Republicans and President Trump will understand that now is the time to finally negotiate and make a deal to help save health.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Next, I'd like to introduce a great organizer, Jen Carrillo. Jen has many years of organizing experience. She's taken on big corporations and the politicians that do their bidding. And she's going to share just a little bit about the fundamentals of organizing, about how we can prepare to take action in this moment. Jen?
Thanks a lot, Evan. Hi, everybody. My name is Jen Carrillo, and I'm joining you from Central Illinois this evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to be here. So you've heard a little bit about the ways that you can get involved, and all of the things are important. The phone banks are important. Calling your senators directly is important. Telling your story. But the most important thing is that you actually take action. So if for you making one phone call is a risk, do it. If joining a phone bank is a risk, then do it. Or if you're up for a challenge and you want to organize a real life action outside of your senator's office in the coming days, we will help you make it happen. And it's not as hard as it sounds. You will have all the support and all the tools that you need to be able to do it. And we're going to have somebody who's going to actually speak to that in a little bit. The real thing is, look, in these times, it's really, the world as we want it to be feels really, really far away. And it is very easy to fall into despair. But that is exactly what the oligarchs want us to do, is to despair. They want us to feel scarcity. They want us to be scared of our neighbors. They want us to feel alone. This is how they move their agenda. But I have good news, is that we have the antidote. And acting together, taking action together, is the antidote to that. It doesn't have to be anything huge. In fact, my first action, I was a college student. I collected some signatures. I got some folks to get together at a park. And I told my story about coming to this country as an undocumented person for the very first time at the top of the slide on the playground, because that was the podium that was there and available to us. So it doesn't have to look any super polished, any huge way. The point is that we act together. Because one of the fundamentals that I want to leave you with is that power is the ability to act. Lots of people talk about power and don't actually kind of get into what this really means. But let's be clear, it's about the concrete ability to take action, to make something happen. And in deciding to take action and bring other people into the action, you are helping to build our collective power, our collective ability to act. And in the face of so much pain and suffering, people are looking for a way to channel their anger, to channel this energy. And these actions that you take can create a positive outlet for people to come together and to try to make an impact. And so I said I was going to lift up some of the work that has happened before. We had a call just like this one back in June. And as a result of that, some folks who had never met each other, never talked to each other, are not organizers, are not politicos, decided that they were going to get together and make something amazing happen. These are just a couple of the images from the actions that they were able to pull off in 9 days' time. Really amazing stuff. And now I'm going to introduce a powerful community leader, Lisa, who is directly impacted by the healthcare crisis and is one of the people who organized her community to take action earlier this year. She's going to share that experience with us. So I'll hand it over to Lisa.
Hi, guys. Hi, you wonderful people. All right. I just want to let you know that I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about, my first foray into political activism, and I'm going to tell you about the results, which were pretty awesome. So my name is Lisa Absher. I live outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's Western Pennsylvania, which is much more conservative than Eastern Pennsylvania. I was frustrated, like everybody, about what was going on in the world, and was a big supporter of Bernie's. I've been kind of late to the game, to be honest with you, with Bernie Sanders, but I'm really happy to be here now. And so I wanted to do something to get involved back in June. And in a minute, I'll talk to you about what I did and how that turned out. But to tell you a little bit about myself is, even back in June, I wasn't as affected as I am today. You guys probably feel it. It's getting worse every day. And I'm going to try to talk to you without getting emotional, which is hard too. So health concerns. I have a double mastectomy. I had breast cancer, and I, of course, have the famous breast cancer that is what a lot of famous people have had, which means that it always comes back. Olivia Newton-John had the same breast cancer. So I know this. So I have to have health insurance through a marketplace. I can't buy for-profit health insurance. I decided to retire from my job in my late 50s, not too long ago, because of my health concerns. And I planned it out, and I said, okay, I can do the ACA marketplace, I can do the health insurance marketplace, and I can become self-employed and wait 7 years until I can get Medicare. And but that is really gone to hell in a handbasket, because I bought health insurance through Pennies, which is the state of Pennsylvania healthcare plan, and that is affected by what's going on right now. So me personally, I'm making decisions with me and my son as to whether or not I should just drop him off of the insurance or if I should stay on. But a little bit about June. Came to one of these Bernie Sanders calls. I'm not a professional politic, didn't have a lot of experience, but if you make it, they will come. I was really surprised with this, and it was true. We just there's a great picture that you might have, picture number 1 of myself. I met Marcia and Natalie through this experience. We're very diverse. I'm middle-aged, and then you can see Natalie. She's real young. Oh my God, worst picture ever of us. But anyhow, she's the young girl to my left, and then the older lady to my right is actually almost 90. We met and we put on what we thought was just we're gonna throw it out there. So we put on an event at our senator's office. We showed up at our senator's office and demanded that he see us about the big, beautiful bill. We did a press release. Never did a press release before in my life. I just made that up, and the local news came. You can see the lady right there in the red dress. She was interviewing people. The Bernie Sanders team, of course, sent out the announcement of the event to multiple channels. Once you decide to pick an event and do an event, they send it out to multiple people, and oh my gosh, 50, 60 people showed up. Didn't plan on that at all. So we were super, super successful, and so right now I just think there's just such a need. There's more. I mean, what if they doubled the premiums on everybody's Medicare? What would happen if they did that? I mean, there's just such a need. There's so many people screaming out right now. It's cruel. We know he tacos. Let's keep the pressure up, guys. Let's just keep it up. Let's do these events. Let's get out there. Let's do whatever we can, because we know. Don't back down now. Don't back down. Don't give in. Don't sign don't sign it. And I mean, I have Fetterman. Fetterman's my senator. Anyhow, so we got to get out there. We got to keep the pressure on. And that's all I can say.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That's an awesome story about what you were able to organize and what we're asking folks to organize themselves as well. So next, to close us out, I want to introduce Greg Pearson, another expert organizer with our partners at the Addition Project. Greg, take it away.
Thanks, Evan. Everybody, let's hear it for Lisa. Put your hands together. Give some love out there on all the channels for Lisa. She is amazing. My name is Greg Pearson, and I had the honor and privilege of being the organizing coach for Lisa's team and several others. And we've got a big task in front of us right now, and that task is to keep building the pressure on these Republican senators to come to the table and negotiate to protect our healthcare and reverse the cuts that are going to impact tens of millions of Americans. And how do we do this? We do this by taking action, just like Lisa and her team did. So at the beginning, Evan took us through a number of different actions that we can take. Evan told us of 4 actions. I'm going to compress it down to 3 because they say good things come in threes. And Evan kind of gave us the outline, and I bring the crayons tonight to color in these details. And so here's what the details look like. These are the 3 specific actions that we'd like to invite you to over the next week. So action number one, call your senator. Over the past few weeks, we've helped organize thousands of people to make calls to their senators, but we need to ramp up the pressure right now in this moment. We need to let them know that we're not going away and that the pressure for accountability is only going to get more intense. So we want to continue to make calls, and the most effective thing you can do is to join one of the phone banks that we've organized and call other Bernie, through that phone bank, you can help call other Bernie supporters in targeted states and then ask them to make a call to their senators. And the cool thing is on the phone bank, we can actually patch people directly through to their senator, right? So we can connect them without them having to make another call. And this is an incredibly powerful way to make a big impact. Nearly half of the people that pick up the phone and start talking to us end up making calls to their senators. So this is a high impact activity. And so it's really crucial that we have a steady stream of people calling into these senators' offices. And by joining a phone bank, you can multiply your impact by helping to generate more calls from more constituents. And anyone from wherever you are in the country can join these phone banks. Part 2, so 1B, is if you cannot attend one of these phone banks, we've set up a page for you that will connect you directly to your senator once you enter your information, and you can make a call at any time. So task number 1, action number 1, call your senator either through a phone bank or directly on your own time. Action number 2, organize an action at your senator's office. Just like we heard and saw from Lisa, you can do this too. If you live in a state with a Republican senator, we're going to hold a National Day of Action on Monday, November 10th at 12 noon your local time. So 1 week from today. So you can click on the link. You'll see these links coming up in the chat or on the platforms. You can click on the link if you want to join an action, and we will support you. Just like Lisa got training, we will be holding a training this Wednesday night and support you in recruiting folks to come to your action. So the proposal is that you organize an event outside of your senator's office to help keep the pressure on them, to negotiate and protect our healthcare and end the government shutdown. We know that 1 week is a short turnaround time, but if you just click on this link and let us know that you want to take action with us on November 10th, then we will support you in making it happen. And this is a great way to let the senators know that we're not going away, for us to bring our faces and our bodies to their offices in person. Action number 3 is share your story. So we're here because ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and our communities are directly affected by these cuts, and we know the devastation that these cuts are going to bring. Our stories are an incredibly powerful tool of community and solidarity. When you tell your story, other people can see their struggle reflected in your struggle and suddenly don't feel so alone. Your story opens up a path for people to see themselves as part of a community of agents of change. We need to continue to let people know about the human impact of these budget cuts. So if you or anyone you know is going to be impacted by the increase in healthcare costs, your story is urgently important, and you can click on the link to share your story. You can click on the link for any of these things, one link and all of these different actions. So to recap, 3 powerful actions to be a part of this week: call your senator, joining a phone bank or directly, organize a Senate visit action, sign up for, when you click on that, you'll also be signing up for a training on Wednesday night, and number 3, share your story. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Evan to close us out.
All right, thank you, Greg. So yes, it's a crucial time. This week is going to shape the future of healthcare in this country, and we're asking for your help. So once again, we got the link in the chat. I know you're tired of seeing it. We're asking everyone on the call or on the live stream today to sign up for one or more of those actions. With all of us together, we can beat this. We can beat back these attacks on healthcare. So thank you all so much for joining tonight, and hope to see you at these actions. Have a good night.